Yo, so I know Dragon Ball Fighterz just released their new DLC character, Super Saiyan 4 Diamond Goku. This is the first DLC we have gotten in like 4 or 5 years, and the way people are receiving it is not the best, to be honest. People do not like how they handled him, but I will say I really do enjoy how they handled him, because this is a step in a good and right direction. And I will just go down a list of why I think is good, but not everything is good specifically, I will say that. But Bandai taking over is very good because they are trying to learn how to develop their own fighting game under the ArcSys style, so that whatever fighting game they work on next, probably a Dragon Ball Fighterz 2 or something else, looks as good as any ArcSys game, because that art style works very well when it comes to anime fighting games. We've seen them do something like this where they're trying to learn how to use something new before the new thing happens, like Xenoverse 2. We've seen them like use upgraded equipment to make their latest DLC, and you could tell by the upgrading quality that you have seen for the latest DLC compared to the release of Xenoverse 2 or any of the earlier DLC. You could also tell by just looking at any of the Xenoverse 2 DLC characters, and you can see how close they look compared to Xenoverse 3. While if you compare it to Xenoverse 2 in the early days, it looks very different when you have Xenoverse 2, Xenoverse 3, and DLC Xenoverse 2 next to each other. So I see this as them practicing to make a Dragon Ball Fighterz 2 or any more DLC to come for Dragon Ball Fighterz. And obviously Bandai would like to have more control, or I should say Toei would like to have more control, and they would like to do that with a more trustworthy company. Bandai and Toei obviously have a better relationship with each other over ArcSys. So if Bandai's doing everything, we might see a lot more stuff in the next Dragon Ball Fighterz compared to this one. We might get like new costumes, stuff like that. We might get stuff like that. The way they even constructed Super Saiyan 4 Diamond Goku's model is different compared to every other character. So they might make that easier to do for the next game if they're continuing to construct the models like this. A lot of the stuff that they have for like the shading or the lines on the characters, those are individually drawn, and unlike ArcSys where the shading is based on the system, like I said before, this is individually drawn, so we could see other costumes for characters. Possibly we can see other costumes for characters in the next Dragon Ball Fighterz, which would also be extremely hype. For a first attempt though, I think this was pretty good. They didn't really do bad, other than the fact that, you know, the reused assets, but I'll get into that later. But yeah, this really just shows that they want to continue supporting this game. This is definitely amazing because this is just more support for DBFZ. I know a lot of people want that, and they were able to make a character that fits well in the balance of the game. So they didn't really go too ham, and they didn't go too soft on how good they wanted to make this character. They didn't try to play the safe route. They didn't try to go crazy. I feel like he's definitely good, but he's not really in the top tier, I should say. But he doesn't hurt the balance of the game. That's pretty much what I'm saying. He has a lot of freedom of what he could do. He is definitely one of the more fun characters in the game. A lot of people love him for that. I've seen a lot where people are just like, this is the most fun character I've ever played as in this game, compared to my favorite character. You know, they really did give this character a lot of love in terms of what he could do when he's actually in game, and I feel like that is probably the best thing they executed with this character. There was just so much you could do. You could pretty much do whatever you want for a combo, and a lot of people do love seeing cool stuff for a character, cool and unique stuff for a character's combos in fighting games. I do want to get into the cons though. There is a lot of cons. I will also include the announcement or lack thereof of an announcement for the continuation of Dragon Ball FighterZ support, besides us just getting Super Saiyan 4 Diamond Goku. But let's just start off with Super Saiyan 4 Diamond Goku. Reused assets. You could easily tell that they reused a lot of assets. The number one biggest thing being the Dragon Fist that they got from GT Goku. They just took the PNG and just put it on his level 1. It's in terrible quality too. If you use the level 1 in game during training mode, press pause, remove the UI in the pause menu, you could see that it is just a terribly bit-rated screenshot mid-game, and they just put it in the background of the character. That's exactly what it looks like. I feel like they just went in-game, made the characters invisible, and did Super Saiyan 4 Goku, not Super Saiyan 4, GT Goku's level 3, and just took that screenshot. It doesn't even look right at all. It doesn't look like he did that attack. You can see that they obviously took Kefla's JH and just put it onto this character. Now you can also charge the JH, 2H, all of that. You could charge all of his H buttons, but it still is the exact same animation from Kefla. They obviously took Super Baby 2 and Vegito's command throws. They kind of mashed them up together for the 214H, 214-8H, I should say. His spinny command throw. They took Baby's command throw and mixed it in with, I think, Vegito Blue's command throw, if I remember correctly. That is another reused asset that a lot of people pointed out. There was a lot of reused assets on this character, but there are obviously unique assets like his level 3, his level 1, I'm pretty sure. Not the Shoryuken, because that's just the fucking 2H. But his pose, obviously. His super dash is just Nappa's. And other than that, everything else is pretty much the same from what I could tell. The drop in quality, specifically the animation, not the asset, specifically the animation of the character. The way that character animates, he animates in 8s instead of 4s. Dragon Ball FighterZ does operate in 60 frames per second, but since the actual background and the characters, they operate in 15 frames per second, meaning there's 15 keyframes and 3 in-betweens, if you know what I'm saying. Every 4 frames there is a keyframe, everything else is a keyframe. So they did not make him animate in that way, so he does look a little spotty. He looks like a very laggy character. That's the best way I could put it. He looks like he's moving through ice. It looks like he's jumping from frame to frame. It does not look pretty smooth. Even with smears, it does not look smooth at all, which is obviously another thing people do not like. That's probably one of the bigger things as well. But I feel like I said before, this is just them learning how to create a character in the ArcSys art style. But I obviously do hope that this is not how they're gonna handle it in the future. I hope they do learn from this and try to steer towards animating in 4s instead of 8s, so it does not look this laggy. It looks like he's a stop motion character. That's what it looks like, even though some stop motion looks smoother than this. But anyways, yeah. Hopefully they just don't stick to going this route as like a cash grab type of thing, just reusing assets, poorly animating things. I hope they don't stick to doing this, because it is Bandai. They are very greedy, and they will just, take the lazy route if they know it's gonna get muddy. That's how they published so many arena brawlers that nobody likes, even though it's gonna get a lot of money anyways. Now I want to specifically talk about announcements. We did not get a confirmed season pass during the battle hour, which left a very sour taste taste in my mouth, probably did for a lot of people too. We do want to know if we're going to get more characters, which is most likely going to be the case if they are taking this route of we're going to practice using we're going to practice making characters in the ArcSys art style and not make it look terrible if they are really trying to continue support for this game. Or hopefully that's the route. But it is pretty much guaranteed that they're going to make more characters. It's probably just not going to be a season pass. Hopefully that they do an expansion at least, probably like a Rev 2 where they just add crossplay and it has all the previous DLC characters, so people do not have to spend like $100 plus on all the DLC for this game. This game is 10 years old. It has technically 3.5 seasons worth of DLC, and if it's not on sale, that is around $100. So we do not want that for the game. If you do an expansion, this would be perfect because any new players trying to get into the game would just be able to get that expansion for say like $40, and they would have every character and the DLC, and they would not have to spend $100 plus $60 just to have every single character. And I think that would help a lot of people. It would also get new eyes, which is what Dragon Ball wants, which is what Bandai wants, which is what Toei wants. So yeah, but hopefully we do get a Rev 2. And I really do hope we get crossplay, because if we get crossplay, I wouldn't have to get 4 different versions of the same game if I want to play my friends. I would be able to just play them on my PC. That might turn into some issues because of the delay, but people do that anyways. Game companies already do that. It doesn't really matter. But other than that, yeah, like I said before, this is a step in the right direction. Them continuing support for the game is the best thing they could do right now. And I know for a fact we're going to get more DLC characters, probably like season pass. But if we're getting more DLC characters, that means more Dragon Ball Fighterz, possibly more Dragon Ball Fighterz 2. And now with that being said, I'm out of here. Please like and sub.